A very crucial qualifying session is about to take place here in the Ardennes Forest. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. It's round 10 of the Formula 2 season, and with 5 rounds to go, including this one, qualifying always provides the intrigue. Green lights on then, away we go. Hello everybody, welcome up to the commentary box. Myself, Omi, JT and Jack with you to bring you all the action. Rain is coming in, Omi. Exactly what we like to see here, don't we? Let's try and get my gloves on. So dry tyres really going to be the quicker factor for this opening session. So, what, 2-3 runs max? Same tyre? It's going to be fun.
Indeed, definitely a lot of fun, but we prefer the sessions where the rain comes in right before the session, and then it starts drying out and we get laps all the way till the end. So this might be similar to last year, where it was one run, it was one run the drivers got, and it gave us a very mixed up grid. Should be, though, a little bit more easy this time around, as the rain is a bit more far away compared to what it was last year. The cars heading there out onto the circuit, it should be a wide open session. Cannot wait to see who's grabbing the 2 points for pole.
Hello Jack, how are you doing in this one? Nice to see you again in Formula 2.
Doing alright, thank you very much. We are excited here for what is set to be a very, very exciting Formula 2 qualifying session. Of course, everyone doing their best to be as fast as possible. Few drivers will find the limit. One of them already found the limit in practice, of course. Villa Gomez hitting the barriers very hard earlier on.
Here's Martins.
Some interviews with some
they resurfaced a bit the track, so it could be a bit less demanding on tires. And after a lot of high-speed corners, which are in F2 quite tricky to take, even though Eau Rouge, the Raidillon is flat, it's not that easy compared to a Formula 3 or Formula Renault or before. And I would say it's just the track layout, the historical place we are in, and but the track itself, I really like it, and especially in F2 or F1.
Victor Martins there, just saying what he likes about the circuit as well, to come into all the action as well. JT, are you back with us yet?
No.
It's all right, we're supposed to have Richie with us as well. There he is, yeah?
I think he's coming for FP2 maybe.
Ah, okay.
Later on. Might join maybe midway through this one. But Victor Martins, 2 second places in the results. Lots of points gained, lots of confidence gained for the French driver. It showed earlier on. Second in practice, or a all French first and second. Fittipaldi will also be looking to get a good qualify, where the Brazilian driver qualified on the front row. Let's see if he can manage it once again.
Definitely seeing sector times improving out there as well at the moment, which is something you've always got to keep an eye on as well. He's the only driver on the grid to have won in F2 in Belgium, having won the sprint race in 2023 on the grid. So no other driver on the grid has won in Belgium in FIA Formula 2 bar him. Big pressure then coming in here. That sprint race last year, of course, was wet weather on the Saturday. Even the F1 sprint was delayed by what, nearly an hour? Insane.
Yeah, wet weather of course last year, but it was mostly a dry track. It was everyone on slicks, so it was mostly a dry with the track drying. But yeah, it was a great move from Fittipaldi on the penultimate lap of the race 1 year ago in the sprint to get past Richard Verschoor and claim that victory. And that was his first ever win in FIA Formula 2, and he did it in brilliant fashion in what was a thrilling contest, which we hope will be the case today. But we're getting more rain than just a little damp track with everyone on slicks. We're expecting some red flags level of rain as well coming in tomorrow. So much more complicated for tomorrow, as well for the drivers, and much more challenging.
Yeah, we're literally preparing all the emergency footage and graphics and everything as well for tomorrow when we go into delay periods. Right now, we've got 25 minutes to go of this qualifying session. Drivers just giving up. They've done an out lap. They've done their install lap. Now they're going to get ready and push hard for a full-on lap. They've got the soft compound tyre here this weekend, as well as the medium compound tyre. And away, Barnard and Durskin then together on the circuit doing their lap times together. course, one thing
Yellow
that's-
flags.
Oh, I was about to say, the one thing that's important is if it's tricky weather conditions, you've got to get your lap time in early on, and who has in sector 3, so I presume that's at the last corner. That's got to be coming into the bus stops. Yellow sector 2 and 3, that's Blanchimont. Curve to Paul Freire and Blanchimont then. And, oh, it's Victor Martins coming into Stavelot. Yeah, it's around this part of the track. And he looks like he's got no drive. Stay
Green flag, so I think he might have got back completely going.
Looks like red flag. Red flag's out.
Red flag.
Well,
Never mind.
Well, what's going on here then? Someone else pushed it into the wall? Has he come to a complete stop again? 24 minutes to go exactly on the clock, and the red flag is out. And that's really annoyed Joshua Durtskin and Taylor Barnard. Aron's gone top 223, but they're all install laps. And why is the red flag out? Is it for Martin's on the racing line and he's stopping? That's the reason for the red flag. Victor Martins being in a dangerous position is the reason for the red flag. Because he can't get drive. So it's a fair red flag, but
That is.
yeah.
That is a huge disappointment for Martins, a driver who had a chance to contend for pole position today. Instead, he has come to a halt. Disappointment. And Victor Martins' Formula 2 2024 season resumes as normal.
And he's stuck at the entry to the curve to Paul Freire as well, right on the apex. So that's a very dangerous part of the track to go off on. Just like this is cut out, but there is an exit there, so should be able to recover it quite quickly. I can hear Ben Constant and Juris in the background. Okay, red flag out. Let's hand it back to the road feed.
Earlier in the year of a sprint race in Spain, but good performance, best feature performance last time out in Budapest, but he's out of the car. He's caused a red flag, and it means that everyone who'd done all of that preparation, pushing on, didn't manage really to even get to a second sector of a flying lap.
Yeah, and it's a problem because to get to the lap here, it's not a lot of energy if you're trying to baby the tyre around so it's ready to deliver a flying lap. But what it is, it's a lot of miles underneath the tyre to drive 7 kilometres, then start a big distance to get all the way through the first sector of the lap. And sometimes just that in itself can take a toll on the tyre, which doesn't give you the performance when you go to run again. Only 2 sets, of course, of this soft compound tyre they've got available to use through the 30-minute qualifying session. So for drivers who've got a long way round, I'm looking at Dirksen and Barnard in the 2 AIX cars. That might be damage to their tyre that they'll carry through. They'll certainly run on it again, but it might be down to their tyre they'll carry through to the next phase.
Aaron, Barnard, Dirksen, Stanek, Vachon and Antonelli all pushed through the first sector.
Yeah, it's when you start getting through Les Camps and Malmedy that you really start to slip the tyre across the road. The Brussels hairpin takes a lot out of the front tyre, and then you deliver traction through the exit, and you really feel the tyre work hard. The first sector, less of an issue because it's Eau Rouge, which is flat out, and La Source, where you're getting up and running. So it's drivers who've made their way through and deep into that middle sector. In any case, we'll see who's lost out when we get going again. Should be a relatively quick clear up for Martins because there's a place behind the barrier there on the inside, I should say, of Stavelot 2 where they can put that ART liveried machine.
Quite the half hour for Alpine. Alpine Academy drivers come to a halt. Alpine have announced that Bruno Famin's going to move away from his current role as team principal. Silver car going through there, run by High-Tech. High-Tech's Ollie Oakes has been linked with taking that team principal role. No official word from that, but it's another change at the top for Alpine, the academy that Victor Martins is part of, and the red flag is flying. Clock stops, unlike practice, so we will reset with 24 minutes for the drivers to use, but it's an interruption. Another interruption. We had an interruption in practice earlier on, which effectively reduced it to 15 minutes of meaningful running, with the track dry-ish, green surface, not a lot of grip initially, but we've had another interruption. You can see no one's got a representative time on the board, and Victor Martins knows that it's an uphill struggle now for the rest of the weekend. He'll be at the back for both races.
Yeah, he'll be seeking permission to start, won't he, unfortunately, Victor Martins.
He's also been noted for crossing the track before all the cars were back in the pit lane.
Yeah, that'll be personally, as in walking
Yes.
across.
Yes.
With regard of not driving across. So Victor Martins, that's a real shame. Could well be. It'll probably be just a reprimand or a fine for that. Drivers are told they do need to stay on the side of the racetrack that they stop on for obvious reasons. So he'll be having a little bit of a chat with the stewards about that one. Interesting one with Ollie Oakes. They've got great engineering support there at High Tech from Dave Greenwood, ex-Ferrari Dave Greenwood, who does a fantastic job for them. Following in the footsteps in some way, although in terms of ownership structure maybe slightly different, of Fred Vasseur, of course, who was heavily involved in the ownership structure of ART and then now moves forward, of course, to be the team principal of Ferrari. But we will wait to see if Ollie Oakes finds himself a position at Alpine.
Not just a feeder series for drivers, sometimes all personnel of all different description of job make the jump up the ladder to Formula One. Let's hear now about the task in hand. Qualifying at Spa, Jack Crawford's going to talk you through it.
I think just obviously sort of confirming where we went wrong in Budapest. Obviously it's a bit different conditions. It's much cooler, much nicer weather now, not as hot. So hopefully that'll play a bit more into our hands. And as well, I think judging the weather correctly will be key. It could be, damp conditions like we saw last year, or fully wet or fully dry. So being on it in all conditions really, and that's the key to qualifying, I think.
Jack Crawford, who has been dominant on track in Spain earlier this year, and that was the high point of his season. A strong podium at Silverstone. He crossed the line in first, but had a penalty for an unsafe release that day, and then an uncharacteristic non-score in both races. So analysing what has been before as we spill out onto the racetrack once again to get the tyres in the window and to push on to get some representative time on the board. We thank the marshals for recovering the car of Victor Martins. His ART has been pushed behind the barriers. He's not taking part, but we've got 21 ready to push on and log their time around this extraordinary racetrack, which you can see Oliver Behrman making his way through. He is F1 bound, the Ferrari Academy driver, and he finds himself on the Kemmel Straight now as they begin the process they've already been through.
It was Paul Aaron there making a gap to the cars ahead, indicative of the fact that they think the brakes might have enough temperature in them to retain the temperature in the tyre, and they need to get on with it now because they're on a run plan here where they've added an extra outlap to get to the line to deliver the flying lap. And of course they're so limited on time in Spa, specifically because of the length of the racetrack, that prevents you just, you don't just fire around in a minute and 15 seconds and begin a flying lap here. It's going to take you a couple of minutes to get to the line. It adds a bit of lag in the whole process of building a flying lap here. So that's why we're seeing drivers make relatively swift progress round to the line, making swift progress through this phase of the year. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, a brilliant job in the most recent pair of races, taking the sprint race victory back in Silverstone and then his first ever feature race victory in Hungary. Will be looking to try to do a similar thing here, and had a very strong free practice process, so all to play for behind the wheel of a Prema that's finally turned up at the races from mid-year onwards.
Absolutely right. It was a really enjoyable session this time last year for Prema. They locked out the front row, at least after qualifying they did, and Oliver Behrman was the driver on pole. It was mixed conditions, and they were in the right place to take advantage of those mixed conditions. It is glorious sparse sunshine at the moment. Did you expect anything else? We're going to go again now, and just getting the tyres into the preparation window, then we'll be able to push on, then we'll be able to finally bring you some lap times with the drivers pushing around this Spa circuit. But last year it was the Behrman show, as he was able to take pole in mixed conditions. Frederic Vesti was alongside him, never took his place on the grid. Pivotal moment with a really low grip surface, lost it on the reconnaissance lap, and pushing on now through Eau Rouge and into Radion. Dirksen still climbing, all the way, still climbing onto the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, I'm not looking too bad there, is it? As we're back with you now, as finally we have lap time to mean, I don't like the stop-start nature. And Martins won't be able to do anything, so he'll start at the back of the grid for both races. That's his season in a nutshell, really. Durska might do something here, Omi.
Yeah.
AIX coming into the
Pace
road.
enough
Yeah.
in.
Go on.
Pace here. Pace many circuits for him, but just unfortunate issues in qualifying. So disappointment for Victor Martins again. But yeah, Jackson pushing on now.
So Pouin sloops it round again. There is a lot of lag today in our systems as well. Just general.
There is.
There's a lot there, actually. It's like it just glitches every now and then. And yet, when we were on call yesterday testing out the new iMac, it was all fine. All fine. Need somewhere.
Oh, of course. Could you also reset the pictures as well? Let's see if that fixes it, because it's a little bit blurry.
How's that?
So, we have Zane Maloney going well in the... Yep, that's better, as Dirksen now brings it to the bus stop chicane.
That's good. Pushes up high. What's his lap time going to be then? Fast. Tist. Say 159, but never mind, because look at that. Stanek, pull her on, looking quick. It's 159.072. There goes Marty, Aron, nearly a second faster. Behrman in second. Hajar's looking stronger and stronger as well. It's a question of who's got what, where, and when in this series. Oh, I need moisturiser. Hajar across the line.
See what Hajar can do across the line then.
157.803. Antonelli goes into third. O'Sullivan goes fourth. He's all on banker lap times, of course. Bortoletto's looking strong. Maloney goes fourth. And is that rain clouds only coming in through Blanchimont, do you see?
Definitely could be. Maloney was the quickest driver of all in the first sector. He lost a lot of tenths in the second sector. That's where he lost his lap. What can to do to follow through as well?
I swear I want to take a hammer to Omi's computer at the moment. It's like, it's Omi's has always the biggest lag, and it's like, come on. Jack, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, just double checking. JT's not here.
I'm just not speaking that much. I haven't really got a lot to say right now, so.
No, I was just checking the lag. It's fine.
How am I?
Oh, listen. So Hajar from Aron, Bortoletto, Antonelli, Maloney, the top 5. Crawford, O'Sullivan, Fittipaldi, Maney, Behrman, the top 10. Pole position for Hajar. It'd be the reverse. If I'm right, or would it be? It is, isn't it? The top 11. Or would it be top 10 here?
Top 10.
So Behrman was the reverse grid pole.
For FG.
Can't it just be simple and be the same in everything?
Indeed.
It's like, in my opinion, for a proper reverse grid, it should be half. So in Formula 2, it should be 11. That's half the grid getting reversed. And in Formula 3, it should be the 15. Otherwise, it's not reverse grid, is it? It's just a top 10 reverse. Never gets any fairer. 16 minutes to go.
Looking interesting then. So just taking a look through the order, Crawford in 6th as well. That will be a good recovery if he can stay there as well from last week. That Dams has a lot of race pace, so even if it's 6th, it is a huge contender. And if you're first, you got to keep an eye for those Dams cars. They are mighty quick when it comes to race pace as well, and working those tires, that can be critical in the sprint and the feature race as well. Aaron trying to return back to form. You hear that quite a bit, but it's really critical for Paul Aaron to get back on form, because Hajar's been stealing the show lately. He's had a lot of bad luck, but he's been the man who's been getting the performances, who's been getting the pace through as well. Aaron's starting to crack a bit under pressure, make a few mistakes. He is down through the first part of the lap. Now we'll be going attacking the second part of the lap, and the man in first on the timing page and in the championship is right now in the pit lane.
Yep, Hadjar boxes are on, still in second position, but on a much quicker lap time. Behrman is really strong in the first sector. Personal best for him as well. Try to have a look on the timing screen, but you need to hit it to get it working. There are also a lot of improvements. Fittipaldi too, looking good.
Sullivan going quick as the wall in the first sector.
33.9. I'm on second sector to 52.1.
Second sector for Aaron.
Yeah, fast. Fast overall. Still a 10th off though to Hadjar. But that's, look at that, it's only 1,000 off from Ron's time. Wow. He's got time to prove it here. Keep on pushing. Keep on the attack. Come on.
Now fastest.
Okay, we've lost Omi at the moment with lag. And they're all coming in. Antonelli Maloney instantly under investigation for impeding as they're coming to it. Omi's back. And there's Bortoletto on board with now. Oh, and Hadjar Maeta too. Maney, fastest first sector.
Lag causing all sort of issues then.
He really is, isn't he? Everyone's diving in the box now anyway, I think. Although Maney's got a good shot here. I think the two Invictus are going to go through. I think they'll take it over.
They're a team with a lot of pace as well. So let's see if they can do it.
Do Blanche him out. Bortoletto swinging through into the bus stop. Maney's a couple of seconds behind. Bortoletto jumps one. Oh, he's too slow. He's boxing. Hauger goes 6th. Maney's going to go through again. May as well. Watch your time. Colapinto goes 5th. Maney goes 5th. Okay, good times.
Yeah. I'm going to try use the audio on my alt account. That's better.
Seems to be. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that's better.
I'll just talk on here.
There's Paula on watching.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah. So everyone else left on the track hasn't settled time and runs back in the pit lane. We'll get a break from our software issues and head over to the word feed.
Crawford and O'Sullivan would currently be on reverse grid pole for tomorrow. Hadjar on feature race pole with the points that go alongside with it.
So the upside of running again is you might do better. The downside of running again is you lose flexibility in terms of your strategy through to the end of the session. You can't choose when to run. We've just seen a Formula 3 session that had more than half the field stacked up in the final corner ready to go for the final lap of the session. So flexibility in terms of management of the traffic. Yes, we've got less cars on the racetrack here, but flexibility in terms of how you manage the session is critical in terms of getting the absolute best of the track conditions without traffic in front of you to hinder your potential lap time. That is the benefit of being in the pit lane with the tyres strapped to the car and your engineer on the pit wall looking at the traffic to make a call.
A couple of incidents involving some key contenders going to be investigated after the session for impeding. Antonelli and Maloney, we haven't seen a replay of it, but that's going to be investigated after the session for impeding. And also championship leader Hadjar and Niata, turn 4, also for impeding. That is on the way out of Radion, at the top of the Rouge Radion complex, and that'll be investigated after the session. Those are the only two messages that we've got, as Franco Colapinto brings it back to the pit.
And Colapinto rolling back into the pit lane, and the wait begins for the optimum track conditions. This evocative pit lane at Spa that you spend all weekend trying not to run into.
So let's have a look at the instance. Hadjar there, Miata, he's going to potentially have to explain that one, and that is Antonelli getting out of the way of Malone.
I think it's because it's such a sketchy part of the circuit. Coming over the top there, driver's very much unsighted, you're going at extremely high speed, and yeah, got to have your wits about you. Engineers in Formula 2, not as active on the radio to their drivers, explaining who's coming up behind them as they are in Formula One. They don't have quite the information to be as active and as helpful. Drivers, though, need to have a bit of a look when they're heading into that Eau Rouge and Raidillon section as to who's coming down that little straight behind them. You've got to be aware, and effectively, I think in general, going that slowly through that section is not really that smart.
Yeah, I think some explanation might be required there from two contenders in the top 4, but we will leave that one after the session to find out what will become, if anything, of that incident. We're in the lull at the moment, gives us a chance to look around the circuit of always packed Spa-Francorchamps. Great atmosphere at this circuit, and Dennis Hauger finds himself not wanting to wait around. He's been joined by Jack Crawford, Juan Manuel Correa, and the driver involved in that incident, Miata, as well as the other driver involved. Oh, right, I won't list all the drivers coming out of the pit lane, but it's nearly game time. One winner of a Formula 2 race in the field. You're looking at him. Enzo Fittipaldi had a great breakthrough here last year and celebrated by careering into the bottom. The only thing he got wrong in that race. Great day for him and the whole family. Famous racing name and a great day 1 year ago. He'll want to continue the form on with the Van Amersfoort racing team this season.
Has been a winner already this year as they pour out of the pit lane. Thinking through that impeding moment a little bit more, they've also done an extra outlap here. Engineers will be very intense on the radio about management of fuel through to the end of the session. They've done more running than they expected to do, so save fuel back to the pits could easily be being the call there, so that engineers don't have to put in more fuel than they would otherwise want to for the tolerance of the run plan.
So we find ourselves looking at the final runs now. That will be the task for everyone in the field. Good session, bad session, where if you're outside the top 10, that is your main aim. Fittipaldi, a former winner around here. Behrman, a former pole sitter around here, will be desperate to get themselves into the top 10, as will Richard Verschoor, who was on the podium last time out, having been disqualified from the race win in the sprint, and he was furious with it. He missed the morning meetings about what they were going to do with the strategy, and then it worked out and they were on the podium anyway. So I wonder if he'll attend this week's morning meeting. It's the emotion that goes with the car control, that goes with the story of these young drivers climb the ladder in Formula One, and he was understandably distraught to lose a third Formula 2 win after the checkered flag.
Very recent winner, Kimi Antonelli. A multiple race winner this season, of course he is. And not a multiple winner of the feature race, though. Won the sprint race back in Silverstone. And going to have an opportunity to try and pop that Prema on the front row of the grid today. 7 minutes 45 remaining on the clock. These drivers have tried to manage this set of tyres to give them the best possible track position. Antonelli, incidentally, we were just checking in with him, noting his achievements. He has been noted for a pit lane infringement coming out of the pit lane that time, so we'll see if anything comes of that.
So a couple of things noted for Antonelli after his first ever feature race victory in Formula 2. The 17-year-old, youngest driver in the field, really roaring through the field at the end there with a hard-fought advantage built in by running really well on the hard tyre, and then when the safety car allowed him to switch to the soft, he made light work of the 4 cars in front of him. Many times you see drivers with that sort of advantage. Doesn't always work out, and they're not one on paper, these Formula 2 races. René Rosset, delighted to see Antonelli take the feature race win last time out. Prema will be hoping that they can repeat what they did last year. They got one driver in 4th, one driver in 12th. They were on the front row, 1 and 2 1 year ago.
And it must be said as well, a nicely delivered pit stop process, wasn't it, by Prema in that feature race, when they managed to get Antonelli back out into the queue exactly where they needed to be to attack. Team metrics are so important in Formula 2.
They really are. Let's hear from Campos now. Adrian Campos Jr. talking about the importance of qualifying at Spa.
I think we need to take advantage of our pit lane position, which is good. We are quite in the front, so I think the main important thing will be to go out straight away on green and try to do a good warm-up. The warm-up will be key for us, so that will be our main focus.
So not just pushing on. The preparation of the tyres, absolutely vital. It might be identical car, identical power units, and the difference being made by the teams and the drivers, but you're always going to get a difference in how you need to manipulate the rubber for the setup of the car.
Absolutely, and that's different for each different car because of the way that they're producing downforce, because of the way that the cars are set up. They warm the tyre differently, and so borrowing the process of your rivals and just straight copy pasting it is not enough. You need to work this stuff out for yourself, and that's why we do see these teams make jumps forward in terms of performance, because they find their way, not the way, they find their way to build grip and performance into the tyre. First man across the line, as he has been throughout the whole day so far, it seems. Dennis Hauger arcs his car in towards La Source.
Yeah, definite tactic that we saw earlier on in practice, seeing it again on the vital run. If you're an Antonelli fan, one part of good news, no further investigation required for the pit lane infringement. Let's go on board around Spa.
So much power underneath the right foot, but the revs still dip. Such is the savagery of the run up through Eau Rouge and Radion. DRS is open, and you need to spot your braking point on the left-hand side, pick the beginning of the curve, and try to climb the inside curve if you possibly can, slightly wide, and then a skip through turn 6 from Hauger, through the exit of Malmedy, and onto the exit curve where we saw Villa Gomez having issues earlier on in free practice. It seems endless, Luffield-like, the middle of Brussels hairpin. Speaker's Corner, newly named and newly profiled through the exit, flat out then back onto what you consider the historic racetrack, and it's a historic left-hander of Pouhon, where you must connect with the apex down near the nicely positioned drain to help you out as the circuit cascades away through the piff-paff chicane. You turn in way later than you think, bumpy through the first apex, smoother through the second apex, but you must stay away from that nasty outside curve. Pick your braking a little earlier than you think for Stavolo, then keep it flat if you can through the second part of Stavolo, and it's a long, flat-out run, deceptively long, because you're working the wheel all the way through it, down through Paul Frere. Prepare the car for the high-speed challenge of Blanchimont. Not too challenging when you've got that much downforce underneath you. Let's see what Hauger can put on the board as he stands on the brakes down towards the final chicane.
Expertly done from Alex Brundle there as well. Here comes Hauger up towards the line. We're in the run for pole position here as well. Hauger's 8th goes top by 29,000 to 157.774. Correa goes up into 5th as Crawford goes top, and now Paul are on 156.959. Maloney jumps up into 3rd place, 157.506. Fittipaldi is in 6th position as well. O'Sullivan goes 9th. Hadjar still top the Romy as they come through with more times.
Yep, absolutely. Isaac Hadjar will be trying to get ahead of Paul Aaron. Will he be able to do so? Out of the bus stop chicane, foot flat to the floor. Let's see if Hadjar can get to the front.
Hadjar goes front row, but not pole, and he doesn't know what's happened there to lose 0.2 of a second. Paul Aran has absolutely blown it away as Bortoletto blows Hadjar off the front row. 157.127 as we see up into 9th position goes Cordial.
Yep, as well, Dirksen making his way to the end of the lap. Let's keep an eye also on Kimi Antonelli to see what he is going to be able to do. Antonelli up to P5. What can Joshua Dirksen do?
7th is the answer. 157.533. That pushes Hauger onto a reverse grid pole for Saturday. Might do him some favours there. Paul Aron, though, points and pole at the moment. Antonelli's gearing up to maybe have another run after this one. And lap time cancelled for Stanak. And Dirksken's had a lap time cancelled too. He's dropped down to 20th. So let's put Bortoletto front row with Aron and Hadjar Crawford. And here's Hadjar now.
Round, that could well be it.
Oh, we got safety car. He hit safety car. The Delta speed. Wow.
Oh, continuous drama in FIA Formula 2. Stanek right now in last position. That is to be expected. He got no laps in due to a reliability issue in practice. So he's coming into this with absolutely no experience of the track. And his disappointment for Isaac Hadjar in 3rd position at the moment. Will anyone go again is going to be the question. It's Aaron Bortoletto, Hadjar, Crawford and Antonelli right now. The top 5. And it's Amory Cordial as it stands, who would be on reverse grid pole for tomorrow's race.
Hell has frozen over. Here's Isaac Hadjar now. safety car mode went on. Nothing you can do there, I'm afraid. That's why he's so angry. Did wonder.
Yep, giving her that one. Isaac Hadjar. All sorts of bad things happen to him every single week as well. As the clock continues to tick down, who is going to be able to go round again and still have the tyres is going to be the question. Won't be the case for everyone, though. So there'll only be a few drivers who will try push, and we've got a queue like we did in Formula 3 at the end of the lap.
Traffic, 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 traffic central. Get that under control. Not the greatest what we're seeing just now. On 156.959, he's top. Bortoletto, Hadjar, Crawford, Antonelli, top 5. 8 seconds to go across the line. 7, 6, 5. Push hard, guys.
Aaron boxes.
They're not going to do it. 3, 2, 1. Oh! So who missed out? Stanak's missed out. And Barnard. And Behrman just got across the line in time. Aron's in the pit lane. And Martin's obviously cannot set a further time. So everyone else is on a lap time. Here's Bortoletto.
Leto.
I want to go for pole. I'm gonna try, man. I need to get it.
Bortoletto begging to go for pole position. And he...
O'Sullivan is the quickest car in the first sector.
Ooh, 33.7. Cordial's backed out. He's staying 10th. That's reverse grid pole at the moment. Bortoletto is up on Paul Aron's time. A little mistake, though, coming to the second half. Going to Paul for a yellow flags out in the first sector. I don't know if that's going to bring on a red. Everyone's passed it. So that must be the marshals to take the cars into the pit lane. That should not interrupt the race results. So having an O'Sullivan's time's looking good, but Bortoletto knows that he has not got the delta. He backs out through speakers. Still don't know why the yellow's out.
I don't know about that, but O'Sullivan, what we can tell you is he is fighting for it. He's gunning for it. He's outside the top 10 right now at the moment. In the second sector, how is it looking like compared to Paul Aaron? And it seems like he has lost massively in that second sector. Not what O'Sullivan wanted, but he still has a chance to get into the top 10.
Yep, and that's going to be crucial if he can start 10th as well. It's reverse grid pole for tomorrow. So now he'll be looking to beat Cordial's time. And his delta is round about that as well if he can get in a good one. So he's looking to beat that. So this is where he needs to be. Into the last corner. 15th at the moment. Up towards the line. And where does it progress him? Exactly 10th! Exactly 10th! O'Sullivan gets reverse grid pole position away from Cordial for the sprint race tomorrow. That's exactly what he needed to do, and he's done it. But Paul Aron takes the points and takes pole position for the feature on Sunday for the F2 Belgium Grand Prix weekend. Excellent. Finally, a bit of good luck again for Paul Aron there, Omi.
Well, pole last time out, pole once again for Paul Aaron. Let's see if we can convert it in the feature race as we take a look at a replay through Puan as well for Dirksen, and he went all 4 wheels off the road wide, which means that his lap time was deleted.
Sky going off here as Bortoletto has a slide. Yeah, just it wide. That's coming out of Rivage. That's why he lost his lap time. So it's Paul Aron, Bortoletto, Hadjar, Crawford, Antonelli, Maloney, Colapinto for sure, Hauger, O'Sullivan, Cordial, Maney, Fittipaldi, Correa, Behrman, Maeta, Marti, Villagomez, Barnard, Durskin, Stanek, and Martins. The running order as well. Final thoughts then, Jack. What do you make of that session?
Pretty exciting. It's weird that a driver who doesn't have an academy is beating all these guys.
Yeah.
But it's the main people now in contention for this title, all in the top 3 pretty much. Great session. Excited for the races at the weekend.
I am too. What about you, Amy?
Jack said it all. Looking forward to the races this weekend. Still lots of investigations. Still we could get Amri Cordial on pole for tomorrow's race. It is all going to go very, very chaotic for the 2 races coming up this weekend. Cannot wait to see how they're going to play out.
Fantastic F2. Let's see what F1's second practice delivers. That's coming up next. It's Paul Aron. Pole position. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.